state. As overflowing rivers sends water rushing into homes and businesses, we have comprehensive coverage this morning.
Scary situation when you don't know what's going to happen.
Mother Nature is at its best right now, showing us who's boss.
Another polar vortex is bringing bitter cold temperatures and snow to the Midwest and East.
This pattern is tied to what's happening thousands of miles away.
Is your car ready for the arrival of more winter weather?
And have a bag of kitty litter, sand, or even some old car mats to stick under your wheel.
How you can see one of the best meteor showers of the year. And we have the forecast for many big games this weekend.
From our nation's capital, this is the National Weather Desk.
Good morning and welcome to the National Weather Desk. I'm Angela Brown. The relentless rain is finally easing in the Pacific Northwest, but the danger remains. Crews are bracing for more potentially catastrophic flooding. Now, this is the Skagit River north of Seattle. It reached its highest level ever recorded overnight, cresting at 44 feet. That's 18 feet higher than the river is typically this time of year. Many homes were completely, you can see it right there, surrounded by water. It's a similar story further west along the river. This is the town of Hamilton, home to just under 300 people. Nearly every building in this video is underwater. Many are submerged to their rooftops. Now to Snohomish River, which has also flooded homes, roads, and businesses. This is also a major log jam at a bridge. All of this debris just piling up, caught up in the flood that essentially got stuck. As many as 100,000 people face evacuations in the state. Dozens who didn't leave have been evacuated by air and by boat. That includes this man who was stranded. You see it here on the roof of his car as floodwaters rushed around him. A sheriff's deputy piloted a drone overhead and dropped a life jacket to the man, buying critical time here until a Navy search and rescue helicopter arrived. The next 2 days should be fairly dry though, but more rain will fall on the oversaturated region early next week. Once again, this morning, we have team coverage from across western Washington. We begin with Jeremy Harris, who's watching the water rise north of Seattle.
Floodwaters overran the town of Sumas early in the morning, forcing residents to flee their homes.
My house is about, 4 blocks north. And I'd say it's probably close to doorknob deep in water.
Jesse Harris had to leave his house in the flood. All he could do was watch with friends as the water rose.
20 minutes. This is what you have now, and it's across the road.
The town of Sumas was swamped, and while officials had tried to evacuate everyone a day earlier.
So we got the people out yesterday as much as possible, and then this morning the water showed up probably about 8 o'clock. We thought it'd be a little sooner than that, but it was kind of slow. But when it came, it was once again a lot of water in a hurry.
There were still dozens who stayed behind.
We probably have rescued today, I'm guessing somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 or 30 people.
While fire crews were able to get most people out.
West of the railroad tracks, the water gets somewhere in the neighborhood probably 10 to 15 feet deep.
A few were stuck in homes with water up to the second floor. Even high clearance fire trucks couldn't make it to them, so the decision was made to call for help from above. The U.S. Coast Guard sent 2 helicopter crews to rescue people who were stranded. With only about an hour of daylight to spare, the expert chopper crews made the rescues quickly.
I never thought it would be this high.
A gushing Cedar River spilled into Colleen Jacobson's backyard in Renton's Maplewood neighborhood. She says some relief came to her doorstep when perfect strangers answered a call for help posted online.
We're running short on sandbags, for example, but we're getting them from the city and the county.
Oh, sorry.
These teams of helpers ankle deep in water as they build rows of sandbags on multiple properties along the river's edge.
Yep, that's what we're working on, trying to get both sides just to try to stop it from flowing in, keep the neighborhood dry.
We're barely keeping up with it. Mother Nature is at its best right now, showing us who's boss.
Yards submerged and homes encircled by water that spilled over from South Prairie Creek.
It was quick. Like I said, I saw it crest the yard, sat down, watched the news for about 15 minutes, and next time I looked out there, the backyard was full of water.
At that point, Jeff Ludke was ordered to evacuate, as were his neighbors. Jake Bernetsky says deputies went door to door telling residents to leave immediately.
For the people that were still in houses, they were getting head counts of who was in what house and how many people were in there. They did a good job.
The fast-flowing creek pushed water up and over its banks, and 3 people had to be rescued, which included a man in a wheelchair, as well as a woman and her daughter.
Definitely scary situation when you don't know what's going to happen. You have no control over it.
Emergency shelters like this one in Cedar-Woolley, helping house 48 people from across Skagit County amidst historic flooding statewide.
We started packing our car and moving as much as we could upstairs, as quick as we could.
Robert Gilkey and his family from Concrete packing up yesterday amidst evacuation notices as the Skagit River surged to near record highs.
As soon as we saw the water pouring in there, we just got in the car and took off.
He fears the worst, as he says he lost his entire home to a fire last year, only to have his security cameras showing him this just earlier today.
It's scary, man. I can't afford to lose everything again.
Our biggest fear as our family is if it got to our electrical, because that will probably leave us displaced much longer than we would have originally anticipated.
The flooding is also a major problem just to the north in British Columbia, Canada. Flood warnings are still posted as the water from those atmospheric rivers flows downstream. As you can see, floods have already overtaken several communities here as well. Much like hurricanes, atmospheric rivers are measured on a scale. Meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell shows us what criteria are used to measure them and what level this latest storm actually was.
Well, hi there, everybody. It's meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell here in the Pacific Northwest, where we have been battling historic flooding courtesy of a Pineapple Express-style atmospheric river, the kind that pumps all the way in from latitude 20, give or take a few, from the subtropics near Hawaii. Nowadays, these atmospheric rivers, the very narrow bands of heavy precipitation in the sky, are actually ranked and categorized. They're done so officially by the Scripps Institute there at UCSD in San Diego. And the way they rank these, similar to a hurricane, is with a couple of variables. One is the amount of water vapor that they are going to pull in, and especially if they're tracking all the way down into the subtropics, it can be plenty. And the other is the duration of the event. In other words, how long is that a round of heavy rainfall, the atmospheric river, going to stick around in any one given location. If both coincide, if you get a ton of water vapor and a very long duration where it just doesn't want to give it up, that's what happened throughout this week in Western Washington, you can end up with a Category 4 or even 5 atmospheric river, and that very much came to fruition this week in the Pacific Northwest. For the National Weather Desk, I'm meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell.
While the Pacific Northwest waits to dry out, the eastern half of the nation is still looking for a break from the bitter cold. Another polar vortex is ascending from Canada, bringing bone-chilling temperatures and more snow. Low tonight in the northern plains will range from the single digits to 16 below zero. Highs tomorrow will struggle to even reach zero. And then there's the snow, which could stretch all the way from the I-95 corridor. Most places will get anywhere from 1 to 4 inches. Meteorologist Julie Haley has more on the polar vortex.
This pattern is tied to what's happening thousands of miles away. The polar vortex is a large, swirling pool of bitterly cold air high above the Arctic. When the jet stream is strong, the polar vortex stays tight and the cold air remains locked over the far north. When the jet stream weakens and becomes wavier, the polar vortex stretches, allowing pieces of that cold air to move further south. A stretching polar vortex is helping drive that Arctic air south, setting up a widespread blast of winter cold across much of the United States.
A dazzling display hits the night sky this weekend. What will probably be the best meteor shower of the year, peak Saturday night. The Geminids are well known for their bright and frequent fireballs. In fact, you could see up to 120 of them each hour. The best time to view the show is between midnight and dawn. The best way to view things in the night sky is to find somewhere away from the city lights and give your eyes about 30 minutes to adjust. And if you don't get a chance to see the meteor shower, head over to Instagram, where we'll post any pictures and videos we get over the weekend. Just search the National Weather Desk. And coming up on the National Weather Desk, we'll show you the best way to use road salt to keep your driveway clear of snow and ice, and we'll have our Friday football forecast.
I'm meteorologist Charlie Lopresti with Look at the Northeast. It's another cool day in the Northeast today with highs in the 20s and 30s. It's going to be a little windy as well. Here we are early in the day in the teens and 20s, and notice a lot of sunshine. We have that working in our favor in the Northeast today. This is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Saturday will feature more clouds with some snow showers, mostly in New York and parts of northern New England. I want to draw your attention to some of that snow with a storm passing to our south. On Sunday, the best chance for accumulations will be southern New England, New York, and New Jersey.
I'm meteorologist Jasmine Lomax with a look at the Mid-Atlantic region. So we head into the day, we'll have some areas of snow and potentially a rain and snow mix as temperatures rise above freezing. Then a few stray snow showers possible into early Saturday morning. A better chance of snow will come late Saturday night into Sunday morning. Temperatures will reach the 20s, 30s, and 40s by the afternoon. Then overnight, temperatures drop to the 20s and 30s.
Hi, meteorologist Jennifer Collins with a look at your southeast forecast. High pressure is in control here as we close out the week. Overall dry conditions across the region with a few passing clouds along the northern Gulf Coast heading into Saturday, and then the chance for a couple of showers heading into late Saturday and Sunday for parts of South Florida. As we look at afternoon highs for your Friday, ranging anywhere from the 50s and 60s for the Carolinas into the upper 60s and low 70s for the northern Gulf Coast, and ranging anywhere from the mid to upper 70s, nice and mild for most of Central and South Florida.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
A partial view of a double rainbow as rain moves through Bristol. Secondary rainbows form much like primary bows, except the light reflects twice inside raindrops, then exits, resulting in a second, fainter rainbow with the colors in reverse order from the primary bow. And this Pensacola pelican perched on a rail seems to be enjoying this steady but punchy breeze.
For more content like this, subscribe to the National Weather Desk's YouTube channel.
Having a winter roadside survival kit isn't just a smart move, it's essential, but there's a few items you might not think of when it comes to winter weather and your car. Meteorologist Veronica Johnson tells us things that make waiting out a storm in your car a little bit easier and actually can help you get unstuck faster.
I love these. These are hand and toe warmers. They're small but mighty to keep your extremities warm. And have a bag of kitty litter, sand, or even some old car mats to stick under your wheel. Traction is everything when you're stuck on ice. And a small shovel to dig out your tires and clear around your car. It's absolutely imperative if your car is running in the snow that tailpipe is cleared so you're not getting carbon monoxide filling into your vehicle. And a portable air pump. Cold air can deflate tires. This will keep you rolling. And even a tow strap. If someone can help pull you out, you'll need this. And make use of garbage bags and plastic bags. You can cover your side mirrors and front windshield to keep a lot of that ice and snow off when you're parked. And here's a neat hack. Cooking spray. Spray it on your door seals to prevent them from freezing shut. And playing cards or some simple board game if you have kids. Waiting for help can seem endless. This may at least help keep the spirits up. These extras aren't life or death, but they can make a tough situation a lot more manageable. Reporting from Washington, D.C., I'm Chief Meteorologist Veronica Johnson.
Road salt is one of the best tools to help keep drivers moving in winter weather. But when is the best time to actually use it, and how much is too much? Meteorologist Violet Skyborg explains.
As winter approaches and temperatures drop below freezing, road salt is a necessity. The plows are already out putting it down on the main roads. But when should you put it down in your driveway and sidewalks? First, before a winter storm hits, just to ensure that no ice is going to develop. And then after you shovel, put down another layer once the storm passes. But make sure to use it sparingly. It can actually really harm the environment. If the temperature is going to be below 15 degrees, though, sand and gravel is better because rock salt actually stops working. And if you are going to use rock salt, a 12-ounce cup of it can cover a 250 square foot area, which is about a 20-foot wide single-car driveway, or 10 standard sidewalk squares. But only use a small amount. Only 1 teaspoon of rock salt can actually pollute up to 5 gallons of water once it melts and heads off into runoff water. And that can pollute our drinking water as well. When do you need to actually use rock salt? And when does things get icy on the ground? First, we need something to dampen the ground and the roads. So this happens when we get a batch of snow, you drive over it, create some slush, and temperatures drop below freezing over into ice. As I mentioned though, the salt stops working when the temperatures drop below 15 degrees. And this is because the rock salt, or sodium chloride, lowers the freezing point of water to 15 degrees. So anything below that, it refreezes. There is another type of rock salt, calcium chloride, that lowers it to -20. So that will work, but there are some downsides. It's too expensive, it corrodes concrete and metal, including the metal on your car, and it's very bad for the environment and even can cause some skin burns and rashes. So there are some ups and downs to both types of rock salt.
And earlier this week, it wasn't snow on the roads that made the morning commute tricky for drivers in Charleston, South Carolina. It was the fog. Meteorologist Fallon Mears explains what happened.
We've had instances of freezing fog before, especially inland away from the coast over the past several years, but this is the first significant freezing fog event for the Charleston metro area that I'm aware of, and I've been here for almost just shy of 25 years.
By 3 Wednesday morning, temperatures dipped into the upper 20s.
Our forecasters on the night shift started identifying the potential for freezing fog shortly after 3 a.m.
The National Weather Service issued a statement to the public and emergency managers for the potential of patchy freezing fog.
Once we started to get reports of actual freezing on bridges and the fog becoming a little bit more widespread, we did issue a freezing fog advisory for the Charleston metro area.
How did the meteorologists miss this?
We don't normally see this level of cold until further into winter, and which usually when we get deeper into winter, the water temperatures have fallen down enough that we really don't get a significant amount of steam fog.
And that's where elevation comes in.
Unlike the ground, the bridges are elevated. And so the ground tends to keep things a little bit warmer.
Cold air circulates above and below the bridges, which lack insulation, and freezes first.
When temperatures are much colder than those warmer river waters, that's when we start getting that steam. And between the combination of the regular fog and the steam fog with temperatures below freezing, that's what allowed for some of this ice to develop.
As the water droplets freeze on elevated surfaces that is surrounded by freezing air, black ice formed.
Obviously, look back at this event and see what we can learn. These events don't happen very often, so anytime we get a unique event, we like to take a close look to see what could have gone better and what we can do better.
Many areas have seen winter weather this week, and you likely heard the term wind chill, but what exactly does that even mean? Meteorologist Julia Haley explains.
As we head into the colder months, you've likely heard the term wind chill. But what is it and why does it matter? Wind chill describes the feels like temperature. It shows how cold people and animals will feel. Let's start with calm weather. The actual outdoor temperature is 25 degrees. That's our baseline. Heat loss happens through convection. That's heat carried away by moving air. Warm air rises off your skin and cooler air replaces it. Even without wind, this process is always happening. With no wind, your body forms a thin, warm layer around your skin. This boundary layer slows heat loss and keeps the feel close to 25 degrees. When wind arrives, that warm layer disappears. The wind replaces the heat with colder air again and again. Your skin loses its warmth much faster. Stronger wind means faster heat loss. And even though the thermometer stays at 25 degrees, your body feels much colder. In this example, the 20-mile-per-hour wind makes the temperature feel 14 degrees colder. That number, 11, is the wind chill. Low wind chills increase the risk of frostbite and hypothermia. The colder the wind chill, the faster those risks develop. If you have to be outside in the colder weather, cover exposed skin, dress in layers, and stay dry. So, to sum it up, wind chill shows how wind accelerates heat loss. Cold air plus moving air makes it feel much colder.
And time now for a short break, but first we take to the skies over New Orleans, Louisiana.
Good Friday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Andrew Buckmichael. Clipper number 1 is racing its way across the southern Ohio Valley today and moving out of here. Clipper number 2 is going to be sliding in overnight tonight into the day tomorrow for us. That's racing its way across the Midwest for your Saturday. Frigid behind that. Look at some of those high temperatures down in the single digits and pretty cold, but more sun trying to come back out on Sunday.
Hi, meteorologist Chris Uche. Look at our forecast across the region. Has been a beautiful Thursday, and as we turn our attention to Friday's forecast, another really nice day. A little bit of a chilly start for some, and then you see the afternoon, 50s, 60s, 70s toward the Gulf Coast. Could get a shower or a little bit of morning fog along the Gulf there with higher humidity. Next weather maker will be this Arctic front coming in on Saturday. See the temperature fall behind it Saturday in the 40s, 60s, and 70s out ahead of it.
Well, hi there and a good Friday morning to everybody. I'm meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell. Out west, we continue to balance out the cold in other parts of the nation with so much warmth, especially over the Wasatch, where we cannot get any snow going outside of Salt Lake City this year. At least cooling off to 58 today, 55 though still well above average in Seattle. All thanks to this big area of high pressure and that atmospheric river still lurking in British Columbia. And that's the scene from here.
You are watching the National Weather Desk.
And here's meteorologist Katie Morgan with the weekend football forecast.
Another weekend upon us, and we've got some great matchups to talk about. The one big college game this weekend, of course, is the Army-Navy game. Kickoff set for 3 o'clock in Baltimore, Maryland, and temperatures do look to be a bit chilly in the mid-40s under a mostly cloudy sky. We head to Sunday, and we've got quite the spread. We'll start out west. In Denver, Packers in town taking on the Broncos. Temperatures look to be pretty nice, around 62, with mainly sunny skies. In Florida, how about 70 degrees in Jacksonville? The New York Jets taking on the Jaguars with a partly cloudy sky. A cold game at Soldier Field. The Browns in town taking on the Bears. Mainly sunny skies. Temperatures struggling to get above single-digit territory. And we have a snow alert game here in Foxborough, Massachusetts. The Patriots here at home taking on the Bills. Temperatures will be in the mid to upper 20s at kickoff, and again, maybe battling some light snow. That's the latest on our NFL and college matchups. Hope you have a great weekend. I'm meteorologist Katie Morgan.
And thank you so much for joining us. I'm Angela Brown. Make it a great Friday. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you right back here on Monday.